Have you ever wondered why the more you chase someone, the faster they seem to disappear? Why the harder you try to earn their attention, affection, or approval, the more invisible you become? Most people believe persistence wins hearts. But the Stoics discovered a truth that completely changes the game. The moment you start chasing people, you surrender your peace, your dignity, and your power. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that your worth is never determined by who stays or who leaves. The only thing you truly control is the person you become. And once you understand this, you'll never beg for attention, never force a connection, and never fear being abandoned again. In today's video, you'll discover why Stoics never chase anyone, the hidden psychology behind this timeless principle, and how letting go of the need to be chosen can make you stronger, calmer, and strangely more magnetic than ever before. Welcome to Wisdom of the Stoics. If you're ready to master yourself instead of chasing others, stay with us until the very end, because the final lesson may completely change the way you see relationships forever. From the moment we're born, we're taught that love must be earned. We learn to seek approval from our parents, validation from our friends, and acceptance from society. Over time, this quiet habit becomes a lifelong pursuit. We begin chasing people, believing that if we say the right words, make enough sacrifices, or prove our worth, they will finally choose us. But Stoicism asks a difficult question. If someone has to be convinced to value you, is their approval truly worth having? The Stoics understood that every person has their own thoughts, desires, and choices, most of which lie completely outside your control. The moment your happiness depends on another person's decision, you've handed them the keys to your emotional freedom. Epictetus taught that peace begins when we stop trying to control what was never ours to control. You cannot force someone to respect you. You cannot make someone stay. You cannot manufacture genuine affection through endless effort. But you can choose how you respond. You can protect your self-respect. You can refuse to lose yourself while trying to keep someone else. Think about the people who seem most confident. They aren't cold or uncaring. They simply understand that their value doesn't rise when someone praises them or fall when someone walks away. They appreciate relationships, but they never build their identity around them. This doesn't mean becoming distant or emotionless. It means loving without attachment, caring without desperation, and giving without expecting someone else to complete you. The Stoic doesn't chase because they know that what is truly meant to remain will never require them to abandon their dignity, and what chooses to leave is revealing a truth that no amount of pursuit can change. So before you run after someone again, ask yourself one simple question. Am I trying to win their heart, or am I slowly losing my own? Now here's the paradox that surprises most people. The more desperately you chase someone, the less attractive you often become. Not because you aren't enough, but because desperation quietly communicates fear. It says, "I don't believe I'm complete without you." And people can sense that, even when it's never spoken aloud. Seneca believed that the greatest form of freedom is needing very little from others. Imagine waking up every morning knowing that your peace doesn't depend on a text message, a phone call, or someone else's attention. That kind of inner stability is rare and incredibly powerful. Think of a tree standing through every season. It doesn't beg the birds to stay when winter comes. Some leave, some return, and the tree continues to grow. Its strength comes from its roots, not from the visitors resting on its branches. Your life works the same way. Friends may come and go. Relationships may begin and end. Even people you once believed would always be there can unexpectedly walk away. The Stoic accepts this reality without becoming bitter, because they understand that change is part of nature, not a personal attack. This is where many people make their biggest mistake. Instead of investing in themselves, they invest all their energy into convincing someone else to stay. They replay conversations, overthink every message, and sacrifice their own goals just to avoid being left behind. In the process, they slowly abandon the one person they should never neglect, themselves. Real confidence isn't pretending you don't care. It's knowing that you'll be okay, no matter what another person decides. When your happiness comes from your character, your purpose and your principles, rejection loses its power. It may still hurt, but it no longer defines you. The Stoics remind us that every goodbye creates space for something new wisdom, new opportunities, and sometimes people who value you without needing to be persuaded. And perhaps that's the greatest lesson of all. The right connections are never built on pursuit. They're built on mutual respect, shared values, and genuine choice. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that every person acts according to what they believe is right. Sometimes people leave because their priorities change. Sometimes they lose interest. Sometimes they simply aren't capable of giving you the love or loyalty you hoped for. Whatever the reason, their decision belongs to them, not to you. Yet many people refuse to accept this. They spend weeks, months, even years trying to change someone's mind. They send one more message, make one more promise, or wait for one more chance. They believe that if they just try harder, everything will return to the way it was. But the Stoics saw this as a dangerous illusion. You cannot build a lasting relationship by fighting against another person's free will. Love that must be forced eventually becomes exhausting for both people. Instead of asking, "How can I make them stay?" the Stoic asks a far more powerful question. How can I become someone I respect, regardless of who stays or leaves? That single shift changes everything. When you focus on your own character, you stop measuring your worth through someone else's attention. You invest your energy into your health, your purpose, your knowledge, and your peace of mind. Ironically, this is the moment you become most attractive, not because you're trying to impress anyone, but because you've stopped seeking validation outside yourself. Think about the people you admire most. They don't beg for approval. They don't chase respect. They carry themselves with quiet confidence because they know who they are. Their presence feels calm, not needy, strong, not desperate. This is the hidden strength of Stoicism. It teaches that true power isn't found in convincing others to choose you. It's found in becoming the kind of person who remains steady, even when life doesn't go according to plan. And here's the truth many discover too late. Every moment spent chasing someone who doesn't value you is a moment stolen from becoming the person you're meant to be. The Stoic chooses growth over pursuit, purpose over attachment, and self-respect over temporary validation. And that choice changes not only relationships, but an entire life. There comes a moment in every person's life when they must make a difficult choice. You can spend your days chasing people who constantly make you question your worth, or you can turn that energy inward and build a life so meaningful that your happiness no longer depends on anyone else's approval. The Stoics chose the second path. They understood that time is the most valuable thing we possess. Every hour spent waiting for a reply, replaying old conversations, or hoping someone will suddenly become who you wish they were is an hour you'll never get back. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that life is short, and wasting it on what lies beyond your control is one of the greatest losses of all. This doesn't mean you stop loving people. It means you stop abandoning yourself in the process of loving them. Healthy relationships are built on mutual effort, not one person constantly carrying the weight. If someone truly values your presence, you won't have to endlessly prove why you deserve a place in their life. Imagine standing beside a flowing river. You can try to hold the water in your hands, but the tighter your grip, the faster it slips away. Life is much the same. People, opportunities, and circumstances are always changing. Peace comes not from controlling the current, but from learning how to stand firmly while it flows around you. When you stop chasing, something remarkable happens. Your mind becomes quieter. Your confidence grows naturally. You begin making decisions based on your values instead of your fears. And whether people stay or leave, you remain grounded because your identity is no longer built on their choices. This is why Stoicism isn't about becoming cold or detached. It's about becoming emotionally free. You care deeply, but you don't cling. You love sincerely, but you don't beg. You appreciate others, but you never place your self-worth in their hands. In the end, the greatest relationship you'll ever build is the one with yourself. Protect it. strengthen it. Because when you truly respect who you are, you'll never feel the need to chase someone who cannot see your value. And that's the quiet confidence that no rejection can ever take away. So if there's one lesson to remember from the Stoics, let it be this: never confuse chasing with caring. Caring is honest, patient, and freely given. Chasing is driven by fear, the fear of being alone, forgotten, or not being enough. The Stoics believed that fear is a poor foundation for any relationship because it leads us away from reason and toward unnecessary suffering. Ask yourself this: who would you become if you stopped trying to be enough for everyone else and started becoming enough for yourself? That single question has the power to transform your life. The energy you've spent seeking validation could be invested in building your character, learning new skills, improving your health, or pursuing a purpose that gives your life meaning. The people who are truly meant to walk beside you won't require you to sacrifice your dignity to keep them close. They will respect your boundaries, appreciate your presence, and choose you just as freely as you choose them. And if someone decides to leave despite your honesty and kindness, let them go with grace. Not because it doesn't hurt, but because your peace is too valuable to be traded for someone else's uncertainty. Remember, every ending is also a beginning. Every goodbye creates room for new experiences, deeper wisdom, and relationships built on mutual respect rather than desperation. The Stoics understood that losing people is part of life, but losing yourself is a choice. Protect your mind, guard your self-respect, and never hand your happiness to someone who can walk away with it. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to reflect in the comments. Have you ever found peace by letting go instead of chasing? Your story may inspire someone who needs to hear it today. If you enjoyed this journey into Stoic wisdom, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Wisdom of the Stoics, and turn on notifications so you never miss another lesson on building inner strength, emotional resilience, and lasting peace. Until next time, remember, the strongest person in the room is rarely the one who chases. It's the one who knows their worth, walks their own path, and remains at peace, no matter who chooses to follow. Before you go, carry this thought with you. The Stoics never measured success by how many people stayed in their lives. They measured it by whether they remained true to their own character. People will come and go. Circumstances will change. Expectations will rise and fall. But your integrity, your discipline, and your peace of mind can remain untouched if you choose to protect them. So the next time you're tempted to chase someone who has already decided to walk away, pause for a moment. Take a deep breath and remember this timeless, Stoic truth. What belongs in your life will never require you to betray yourself to keep it. Instead of chasing approval, pursue wisdom. Instead of seeking validation, cultivate character. Instead of fearing solitude, learn to enjoy your own company. Because when you master yourself, you gain something no one can give you, and no one can take away. Thank you for spending these moments with us here on Wisdom of the Stoics. Your commitment to becoming stronger, calmer, and wiser is what makes this community so special. If this video helped you see yourself differently, share it with someone who may need this message today. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Wisdom of the Stoics for more timeless lessons from Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, and the greatest Stoic minds in history. Until our next journey together, take care of your mind, guard your peace, and remember, the person who stops chasing others finally becomes someone worth following. One final reflection before we part. Tonight, when the world grows quiet and you're alone with your thoughts, ask yourself a simple question. What have I been chasing that has been pulling me away from myself? The answer may not come immediately, but when it does, don't ignore it. That moment of honesty is where real transformation begins. The Stoics believed that every day offers a new opportunity to practice wisdom, not through grand gestures but through small decisions, choosing peace over panic, self-respect over desperation, purpose over distraction, again and again, until these choices become your character. Remember, your life is too valuable to spend waiting for someone to recognize your worth. The right people will appreciate your presence without being convinced. And even if they don't, your value remains exactly the same. A diamond does not become less precious simply because someone fails to recognize it. So walk forward with confidence. Build a life that fills you with purpose. Strengthen your mind. Protect your peace. Let your actions reflect your values, not your fears. The more you become the person you admire, the less you'll need approval from anyone else. Thank you for watching and for being part of the Wisdom of the Stoics community. Every video is an invitation to grow stronger together, one timeless lesson at a time. If this philosophy inspired you, leave a comment with the words, "I choose self-respect." We'd love to hear from you. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to Wisdom of the Stoics, and join us for more practical Stoic wisdom that can transform your everyday life. Until next time, remember the words that every Stoic strives to live by. Master yourself, and you'll never have to chase the world again.